Fellow warriors, welcome aboard the Joshticle. Today, we talk about the latest batch of revealed playable characters. Funny I say latest when there's actually already a newer batch of characters. Yes, I'm late. Anyway, you know the drill, use the timestamps in the description to skip to any character, so without further ado, pull out your meat buns and let's jam. The God of War's adoptive son, Guan Ping, has arrived. Yo, look at that hairdo. It's looking slick and clean AF. Next time I get a haircut, I'm legit asking for this, and I swear, I'm not even kidding. So Ping somehow retains the ability to wield this ginormous buster sword, Dragon Slayer. Excuse me, great sword, damn it, great sword. At this point, I've given up on Ping regaining his much more swift Dynasty Warriors 5 moveset. Now don't get me wrong, the recent Greatsword moveset from Dynasty Warriors 8 isn't necessarily bad. Actually, no, it is downright awful. It is way too freaking sluggish even with attack speed augments. Anyone who has played Dynasty Warriors 5 knows exactly how much of a beast Guan Ping was back then. Now, to be fair to Omega Force, in Dynasty Warriors 5, his greatsword was much smaller compared to its current size, so a sluggish moveset does make sense. No matter how much I dislike it, this is the way it'll be, so I'll just have to hashtag deal with it. Mini tangent aside, regarding Ping's overall look, I like it. If there's one thing the recent games did right with Guan Ping, it's definitely his design, which follows the general theme of his Dynasty Warriors 7 and 8 costumes. First of all, I love the combination of green fabrics paired with silver and gold armor. The dude actually looks like a high-ranking officer. Look at the way he is holding his greatsword. He's giving Cloud Strife some major competition in arm strength. Such a badass. And as briefly mentioned earlier, Ping always has the coolest hairstyles, and his signature headband is looking as fly as ever. Speaking of which, holy meat buns, the ends of his headband sure has some ridiculous length. Damn, Omega Force was probably like, well, he has a huge ass sword, why not give his headband a similar upgrade? Cheers to a solid design of Guan Ping. Moving on. Bow down to the greatest bodyguard of ancient China, Dian Wei, a true OG to the kingdom of Wei. That smile, dude. What is going on? Dian Wei looks like he's posing awkwardly for some kind of weird cover magazine for desperate housewives. He's probably like, yes, let me put my hand in a strange position on my bald ass head while showing off my angry smile that is trying way too hard to look like Dynasty Warriors 7 Xiaohe Yuan. Stop it, Dian Wei. You're supposed to look scary and fearsome, not scary and funny. I'm about to knock some sense into you, Dian Wei. You're a bodyguard, damn it, not an aspiring model. Now quit doing this. In terms of his weapon, the hand axe, everyone saw this coming. No way in hell would it be anything else. Now with that being said, call me crazy, I actually liked his ball and chain from Dynasty Warriors 6. But the hand axe has practically become synonymous with Dian Wei. It's classic and it just feels right. Though, I've noticed that this supposed hand axe of his is looking more and more like a pole axe than a hand axe, as the handle keeps increasing in length. As long as he can throw the darn thing like a boomerang, I'm happy. Dian Wei's design is as classic as it gets, still rocking the baldness, still rocking the signature horsehead gauntlet, though all we see is the underside of it in this render, still rocking the badass armor with nice shades of blue. It's good, but nothing special. The only nitpick I have here is I wish they incorporated more exaggerated features. Give him more oomph. Spice him up a bit with more coolness, if you will. This is why I still think his Dynasty Warriors 6 design is his best. Besides that, this new design of his works, and I have no real complaints here. Well, to complete the bodyguard duo, we have another OG here. Pay respects to Chu. Just make sure you don't raise your meat buns this time. You'll regret it. Okay, so number one, what the hell have they done to your face, Chu? Granted, he's always looked like a complete dunce, but my god, that face. He looks like an overgrown infant that is practicing the teachings of an imbecile or dullard. I know I'm just overreacting, but something about his face is throwing me off. Okay, so I took a look at his face in the Twitter pic and it looks fine there, so it's just a weird pose in this render that makes his face look strange. Normally, I would cut that previous audio segment out where I roasted his face, but I thought, what the hell, I'll leave it in for shits and giggles. Anyway, Chuchu is still vibing with the old and faithful club as his weapon, or as I like to call it, a wrecking ball on a stick. No complaints here. He has literally been using the same weapon since the dawn of the series, so I honestly can't see him with any other weapon. That is, unless Omega Force gives him giant meat buns to fight with or something. Oh god, that would amuse me to no end. Alrighty, let's focus on his new design. Any costume of his that covers his belly is a huge, and I mean huge win for me. I think we can all agree here, nobody wants to see your belly, Chuchu, so please put it away. And dear god, do not even mention his Dynasty Warriors 7 design, because the very thought of it just makes me want to... Oh shit. Okay, I'm never doing that again, I almost actually barfed, holy shit. Okay, silliness aside, I'm liking this new design, not only for the aforementioned belly cover-up, but also for its general theme. It's simple and clean, and I don't know if it's the way that you're making me feel tonight, but it's kind of hard to let it go when you walk away. Okay, no, we're not doing that. Okay guys, let's take it down a notch. This is serious business. So I think this is the most slim Chuchu we've ever laid our eyes on. This time around, he is packing some serious muscle. Look at this man's semi-chiseled arms and chest. Looks like somebody has laid off the meat buns recently. I do like it, but I do kinda miss the fat Chuchu. Yes, fat as in P-H-A-T. The Chuchu that reminded me of those gigantic, cute, cuddly panda bears that just make you go, aww. I can't be the only one, right? No? Well, time to go punch a wall to regain my manliness. Son of a half-eaten meat bun! On the topic of fat slobs in Dynasty Warriors, what better segue than the reveal of Dong Zhuo, aka Mr. Stealer of your waifu, aka the guy your girlfriend tells you not to worry about, aka the sexiest and most handsome AF piece of ass in all of Dynasty Warriors. Oh my god, I'm dead. Dong Zhuo is the freaking man. Sadly, Dong Zhuo was reverted to his chain flail from Dynasty Warriors 7, which is annoying and is a total buzzkill. There was nothing wrong with his bomb moveset from Dynasty Warriors 8. In fact, I'd even argue that the bombs were a perfect fit for him. It matches his diabolic, destructive personality. I mean, come on, we're looking at the man who burned down Luoyang, an entire city, just to smite his victorious enemies. See what I'm saying? The bombs were a perfect fit, and don't give me that BS counter argument and say it's not realistic. Dude, this is Dynasty Warriors. When has massacring thousands of peons in a matter of seconds ever been realistic? But whatever, I will get over this decision in due time. The chain flail itself isn't bad, but compared to the bombs, it's just straight up garbage. I'm very disappointed, Omega Force. Please bring back the bombs in Dynasty Warriors 10. In before Huang Gai loses the iron boat and inherits the bombs. Yes, I'm triggered over the chain flail, but that won't stop me from praising this new design of his. Let me help you understand the awesomeness of this design. Number 1, I wasn't kidding when I called him Mr. Waifu Stealer. Just look at all those women on his belly. Oh my god, that is so good. Number 2, look at his headgear. He is wearing a bootleg version of a Hanfu, which are those hats with the hanging beads. In Dynasty Warriors games, a Hanfu is exclusively worn by the Emperor. Here, Dong Zhuo is wrongfully trying to assert himself as the rightful Emperor of China. Number 3, Look at that monster mouth ornament covering his junk. Zhuo knows what's up. He's doing us a favor by keeping covered down there. He knows better than to expose his meat buns and spear. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. His bushy beard, that mole on his forehead, and the gold decorations just make him look like a total G. This is Zhuo's best design. Easily. Speaking of moles, say hello to Ling Tong. Well, actually, that's more of a beauty spot than a mole, but whatever, you get what I'm saying. Normally, this is when I would point out a very distinct feature of the character's design, but there really isn't anything noteworthy here. Overall, Ling Tong's design is fine. I just wish it had more style like his Dynasty Warriors 7 and 8 costumes. Now, let's move on from this snooze fest and have a chat about his weapon. In plain sight, we see that Ling Tong has reverted back to the Nunchaku, or Nunchucks. I guess we can lump Ling Tong into that imaginary pool of characters that Omega Force can't be decisive with when it comes to weapons. Ignoring vanilla Dynasty Warriors 6, Ling Tong has always flip-flopped back and forth between ownership of the Sanjigun and Nunchucks. So what are my thoughts? I'm indifferent. While I personally prefer the Sanjigun, I'm fine with him using the Nunchucks, but only if Guan uses a different weapon like the Sabatons from Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires. That's where I draw the line. If both Ling Tong and Guan use nunchucks, I'll be pissed. And finally, to end this character batch, the long-awaited epitome of badassery is here. The great Gan Ning has ascended from the depths of the underworld to grace us with his otherworldly presence. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Wait, that weapon, Omega Force. Are you shitting me? Oh, you all know where I'm going here. Plain as night and day for the entire world to see, Gan Ning wielding the chain and sickle. I'm literally facepalming right now. Instead of me just raging and blowing your ears out, let me tell you why the chain and sickle is literally the worst possible weapon Omega Force could have chosen for Gan Ning in Dynasty Warriors 9 when compared to his other past weapons. First of all, the chain and sickle belongs to Jiasu, period. There is no arguing this point. This brings the whole clone debacle back into the conversation. Now that Gan Ning has a chain and sickle, what weapon will Jiasu have? Well, at this point, it better be something else, because if they both use a chain and sickle, then congratulations, Omega Force, you just totally undermined Gan Ning and gave him the middle finger. What a mess. Now, to play devil's advocate, maybe Omega Force assigned a different weapon to Jiasu that has more synergy than the sickle. Okay, fair point, but what will that weapon be? That's going into some tinfoil hat, endless rabbit hole theory crafting, so I'd rather not entertain that thought. And then there's the argument that they both share the sickle in Dynasty Warriors 7, so what's the big deal? Well, simple. In Dynasty Warriors 8, they decloned Gan Ning and gave him the flail, which, in my opinion, is superior in all aspects. Why couldn't Gan Ning just stick with the flail from Dynasty Warriors 8? Well, it's because they give Zhuo the flail when he should have just kept the bombs in the first place, but you've already heard my dissatisfaction towards this earlier in the vid. The fact that they had the audacity to choose the sickle over the flail is infuriating. It makes no freaking sense. But of course, until Jiasu's weapon is revealed, we can't go into Ultra Rage mode just yet, so I'll have to pull my punches. Omega Force, I hope you know what you're doing, because if you somehow bring back the curse of the clones in Dynasty Warriors 9, it will be a disaster among the hardcore fans and Musou enthusiasts. Then there's the dual knives moveset Gan Ning had in Dynasty Warriors 6. While I personally wasn't a fan of this weapon, I know there are people out there that liked it. I've seen people even say the knives were a great match given his bandit/pirate vibes. However, my problem with the knives were its piss poor range, though I have to admit, it does have some crazy attack speed. Anyway, point being, even if I dislike the twin knives, I would take it over the chain and sickle any day. Lastly, we have the old school scimitar moveset from pre-Dynasty Warriors 6. Over the years, I've seen lots of outcry for his River Master to return. I've long given up on this idea, and honestly, I don't think Omega Force will ever take this route. If this happened, some would say that this will make Gan Ning a clone of all the other sword users, but let's not feign ignorance. This isn't necessarily true because in Dynasty Warriors 5, there were tons, and I mean tons of sword users, but they all fought differently and had unique movesets. When people talk about old school Gan Ning, they almost always mention his badass Musou attack, where he would run really fast across the battlefield. Sure, people will say it's just nostalgia clouding our thoughts. However, I think we can all agree when I say that the River Master Scimitar is leagues better than that garbage sickle. So long story short, the Scimitar, twin knives, and flail are better weapons for Gan Ning than the chain and sickle. Therefore, I am pissed that Omega Force made this decision. And if it were up to me, I would go with the flail. Now, before you guys type up your hateful comment telling me how wrong I am and that the River Master should return, here's my reasoning. I've always felt that his flail moveset in Dynasty Warriors 8 took the philosophy of aggressive ruthlessness to a whole new level when compared to his scimitar. In my opinion, the flail was a perfect fit to Gan Ning's balls to the wall, in-your-face fighting style, and explosive bad boy personality. But whatever, perhaps I'm wrong. And maybe there is an actual good reason that has yet to be revealed where it would make sense that Omega Force chose to toss the sickle at Gan Ning. I seriously doubt it, but at the end of the day, what's done is done. You've heard my frustrations and thoughts, and I'm sure you're sick of me ranting about this godforsaken sickle, so let's move on. Sure, Omega Force has greatly disappointed me with this weapon, but they sort of make it up for this new design. Sort of. Nah, I'm just being salty. This is actually one of his better designs. Loving the hair and the stylish new feathery headband he is rocking. Still looking like a total badass with his tattoos, even if they aren't as noticeable this time around. And of course, the bells. The freaking bells, or should I say bell. Kind of odd that he only has a single bell this time around, but hey, it works. And I already know there's going to be someone in the comments asking if they gave back Gan Ning's nipples. Well, since his arm is covering that section of his chest, I'm sorry, but I guess you'll have to just be a bit more patient to find out. As ridiculous as it sounds, I swear I'm not kidding. Mark my words, there will be that one dude out there. Man, y'all are a bunch of freaks. Whenever I hear the word badass, I automatically think of Gan Ning. Because of this, I have to say, I do like this new design, though it hasn't quite reached that level of pure badassery seen in his Dynasty Warriors 8 and Dynasty Warriors 5 designs. I think those designs are timeless and honestly cannot be topped. And my work here is done. That's all the characters revealed in this batch. This is the first batch to ever disappoint me, but that's only because of the weird weapon swaps. Other than that, it was a great showing. I just hope that the curse of the clones does not become a reality in Dynasty Warriors 9. Don't you dare bring back clones, Omega Force. I'm begging you. However guys, that's it for the video. So until the next batch of juicy info, stay tuned for more Musou greatness. I'm OhhhMyJosh, and remember, do not pursue Liu Boo.